Welcome back to The Deep End. You are listening to The Deep Dive. Usually on this show, we take a massive stack of articles, research papers, and data, and we act as your filter. We spin a narrative to help you understand the world a little better. We're usually focused on the what and the why, but today
it's different.
Today we are pivoting. We're focusing entirely on the how.
That's right. Usually we're talking about concepts, economics, history, tech. Today we're talking about survival.
Linguistic survival specifically.
Exactly. Linguistic survival. We're looking at the mechanics of how we speak when we're out of our comfort zones.
Exactly. We've been analyzing the specific set of source materials focused on travel hacks, city navigation, and the pragmatics of English conversation in these really high-stress environments.
Right.
And when we looked at the data, the transcripts of people actually traveling, the common stumbling blocks, the complaints on travel forums, we realized something pretty profound.
Which is
Understanding the theory of travel vocabulary is absolutely useless if your brain just freezes up when a customs officer is staring at you.
that's the silent period phenomenon, or what some linguists call performance anxiety. It's fascinating, really. You can score 100% on a written grammar test.
Oh, I'm great at those.
You can know the difference between the past perfect and the present continuous. But when you're standing at a check-in counter in a foreign airport and there's a line of angry-looking people behind you,
I can feel the sweat already.
and the agent asks you a question you didn't expect, your cortisol spikes, your primitive brain, the fight-or-flight part, it just takes over, and your vocabulary vanishes.
It's gone. Poof.
It's a physiological response, not an intellectual one.
I have absolutely lived that response. The sweating palms, the blank stare, the stuttering. It's not that I didn't know the words, it's that I literally couldn't access them. My brain felt like a locked file cabinet.
That's a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
So for this deep dive, we're changing the dynamic. We're flipping the script.
We are. I'm stepping out of the host chair. I'm no longer the guide. I'm the student. I'm the anxious traveler who's terrified of offending the taxi driver or losing my luggage because I said the wrong thing. And I'll be stepping into the role of the teacher. And my job isn't just to give you definitions. I mean, you have a dictionary on your phone for that.
Right.
My job is to guide you through the nuance, the culture, and the muscle memory of these interactions. We aren't just explaining phrases, we are installing them.
Installing them.
Yeah.
I like that image, like software for my brain. And we're doing that through a method called shadowing. We saw this mentioned in the methodology section of our source text. Can you break that down? Though I have to admit, shadowing sounds a little creepy.
It does sound a bit like following someone down a dark alley, doesn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
It's much more beneficial than stalking, I promise. Shadowing is a fluency technique. It's used by polyglots, interpreters, even spies. I mean, people who need to sound native and fast.
Okay, so it's serious stuff.
Yeah.
It is. The concept is simple, but it's rigorous. You don't just listen to the native speaker and translate it in your head. That's too slow. You become the native speaker. You repeat what you hear immediately, almost at the same time, mimicking the speed, the intonation, the rhythm, even the emotion.
So it's not just robotic repetition. It's not see-spot run. It's about copying the music of the sentence.
Precisely. You nailed it. English is a stress-timed language. The meaning often lives in the rhythm, not just the vowels. If you get the rhythm wrong, you can say all the right words and still not be understood.
I've had that happen. It's incredibly frustrating.
So here is how this deep dive is going to work. I'll explain a concept from our travel sources. I'll model the key phrase. Then there will be a silence, a deliberate 3 to 4 second void.
And that is where I come in, and you, the listener. We have to fill that silence. We have to say the phrase out loud exactly how the teacher said it.
Correct. If you are on the train, mutter it. If you are in your car, shout it. If you're walking your dog, let the neighbors stare. Fluency begins where fear ends.
That's a great line.
You have to get the physical muscles of your mouth moving. You need to bridge that gap between your brain and your tongue.
I have to admit, I'm feeling a little nervous. It feels high stakes, to perform on the show. I don't want to mess up the pronunciation in front of everyone.
That anxiety is good.
Yeah.
That's the fuel. Let's burn it off with a warm-up. Before we even get to the airport, I want you to assert your intention. This is about mindset. In our source material, the learner always has to overcome that initial hesitation.
Okay, I'm ready, I think.
Listen to the intonation here. It's firm, it's declarative, but it's open. The phrase is, I am ready to learn.
Pause.
I am ready to learn.
Good. Did you feel that? You drop the pitch at the end, that signals confidence. If you raise the pitch, it sounds like a question. I am ready to learn.
Right, like I'm asking for permission.
We don't want that. We want certainty. Now, one more warm-up. This comes from our source material on road trips. It's a phrasal verb that means to depart or to start, but it's much more dynamic than just let's start. It implies energy, movement. The phrase is, let's get going. Pause. Let's get going.
Perfect. You're warmed up. Your brain is primed. Now let's begin the journey. Imagine we are in a taxi, we've pulled up to the curb, and we are facing the first great gatekeeper of travel, the airport check-in counter.
Ah, yes. This is the zone where I always mess up. I walk up, I'm dragging my bags, I'm stressed about my passport, and I try to say, here are my luggages. And the agent just looks at me like I just spoke a dead language.
And rightly so. That is a classic error we found in the airport source module. And this isn't just a vocabulary error, it's a conceptual one. In English, luggage is a non-count noun. Some people call it a mass noun.
Non-count meaning I can't count it, but it's right there. I can see 3 bags. I can kick them. They are very, very real.
They're real. And you can count the bags, but you cannot count the concept of luggage. Think of it like water or information or furniture.
Okay.
You don't have 2 furnitures in your living room, right?
No, it's 2 pieces of furniture.
Exactly. You don't have 3 luggages. You have luggage. It's a collective concept. It's a category.
So if I say luggages, I'm instantly flagging myself as a beginner. It's like a secret handshake I'm getting wrong.
Instantly. It screams, I am not a native speaker. To make it countable, you need what's called a counter word. And for luggage, the formal counter word is pieces.
Pieces. Okay. It feels a little formal, doesn't it? Pieces of luggage.
It is formal, but airport transactions are formal. You are entering a legal contract with the airline to transport your property. Precision is required.
That's a good point. It's not a casual chat.
Not at all. So let's practice this. You're at the counter. The agent asks, how many bags are you checking? You need to be precise. Shadow this. I would like to check 3 pieces of luggage. Pause.
I would like to check 3 pieces of luggage.
Excellent. Did you notice the rhythm? Pieces of luggage? It kind of flows together as one sound unit. You don't really pause between pieces and of.
Yeah, smushed together. Piece of luggage.
Exactly. Now, we need to distinguish between the bags you give them and the bags you keep. This is where people get confused with the verbs.
Right. The big bags go bye-bye into that mysterious chute, and the small bag stays with me to fight for space in the cabin.
The verb for the big bags is to check. When you hand custody of the bag to the airline, you are checking it. That's why it's the check-in counter.
Oh, wow. I never made that connection. Check-in. Checking a bag. It's so obvious now.
It is. And the bag you keep with you is the carry-on.
Carry-on. Because I carry it on the plane. That is mercifully logical.
For once, English makes sense. Now, the agent will ask you about this. They're trained to ask for security reasons, for space reasons. You need to recognize the question immediately so you don't do that blank stare thing. Shadow this question so your brain tags it and recognizes it instantly. Do you have any carry-on luggage? Pause.
Do you have any carry-on luggage?
Now you, the prepared traveler, need to identify your bag. You don't just nod. You point and you articulate. This removes any doubt. Shadow this. This bag is my carry-on. Pause.
This bag is my carry-on.
Great. Now let's fast forward. You've survived security, which is a whole other deep dive involving belts and shoes and laptops, and you are on the plane. You have boarded. You have that carry-on bag. Where does it go?
Okay, under the seat in front of me. Or up in the flap. The thingy. The shelf. The locker. I never, ever know what to call that thing.
The thingy is not going to help you here.
I figured.
In our source material, the specific technical term for that storage box above your head is the overhead compartment.
Overhead compartment. Okay, let's break that down. Overhead meaning literally over my head.
Right.
And compartment meaning a subdivided space, a box.
Correct. You might hear overhead bin as well. That's also common. But compartment is what you'll hear in the official safety announcements and from the flight attendants. It just sounds more structural.
Okay, overhead compartment. Got it.
Now imagine the flight attendant is looming over you. They're rushing to get the plane off the ground. They give you an instruction. Shadow this. Please put your bag in the overhead compartment.
Pause. Please put your bag in the overhead compartment.
But wait, we have a problem. A classic travel problem. You packed too much. You bought too many heavy books. The bag is bloated. The zipper won't close.
This is a personal attack. I feel seen. Panic mode. Everyone in the aisle is looking at me. I'm holding up the line. I'm sweating.
Don't panic. Communicate. You need to explain the physics of the situation to the flight attendant so they can help you, maybe check it or move it somewhere else. You need to use the verb fit. Shadow this. It doesn't fit in the overhead compartment. Pause.
It doesn't fit in the overhead compartment.
Very good. Doesn't fit. That is such a key phrase for so many things. For clothes, for parking spaces, for plugs in sockets. Super useful.
Good to know.
Now, before we leave the airport section, there's one more word from our sources regarding the scope of this travel. You aren't just flying a little commuter hop from, say, New York to Boston. You're flying from Asia to North America.
That's a long haul. That's a movie marathon flight. That is a wear comfortable pants flight for sure.
It is. And the specific adjective used in our source is intercontinental.
Intercontinental. Okay, let's break that word down. Inter means between, right, like internet between networks.
Exactly, or international between nations.
Yeah.
Intercontinental is between continents. It implies a significant journey, usually crossing an ocean. It carries a weight of distance, usually a much higher price tag.
It sounds important.
It does. Let's practice saying that with the gravity it deserves. Shadow this. I am taking an intercontinental flight.
Pause. I am taking an intercontinental flight.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You have survived the airport. You have
I
landed.
get it.
You're disoriented. The time zone is wrong. Now comes the next great challenge of travel. The rental car and getting lost.
Oh, this is my specialty. I don't need a map to get lost. I can do it in my own driveway. But in a foreign city, it's an absolute guarantee. The signs are different. The rules of the road are different.
We have a great scenario from the source material for this. It involves a couple in a car. They're driving, tensions are rising, and they are definitely not where they're supposed to be. It's a truly universal human experience.
I remember this dialogue. The driver, he refuses to admit he's lost, right? It's that classic stubbornness. I know exactly where I am. The map is wrong.
It is. The student character in this scenario, she notices they're passing the same landmarks over and over. They see the same church, the same billboard, the same, cow in a field. They are making no forward progress.
They're stuck.
They're stuck. And the idiom for this is going around in circles.
It's literal and figurative. We are physically driving in a circle, but the phrase also means we aren't solving the problem. We're just stuck in a loop of failure.
Exactly. It implies frustration and futility. Imagine you have seen that same tree 3 times. You are annoyed, you're tired, you want to convey that frustration. Shadow this complaint. We have been going around in circles for an hour. Pause.
We have been going around in circles for an hour.
I could hear the frustration in your voice then.
Oh, that's good.
Emotional connection aids memory. If you just say it like a robot, you won't remember it. Now, you want a solution. You want to stop the madness. You need to issue a command to the driver to get external help. Shadow this. Stop and ask for directions.
Pause. Stop and ask for directions.
Yeah, here is where the humor and the psychology of the source text comes in. The driver, the husband in our source material, has too much pride. He doesn't want to say, I'm lost. So he uses a euphemism. He claims he is taking the scenic route.
Ah, the scenic route. That implies he chose this way because it's beautiful, right? Because of the scenery.
That is the literal meaning, yes.
Yeah.
A scenic route is the coastal highway, the mountain pass. It is the road you take when you have plenty of time. But in conversation, especially when you are late, it is almost always a face-saving joke. It's an excuse.
So if I'm late to a meeting, I can just say, oh, sorry, I took the scenic route.
You can, and it implies you got lost or stuck in traffic, but you're making light of it. Yeah. You're charming your way out of the error. You are reframing the mistake as a conscious choice.
That's a clever trick.
It is. Let's practice the denial first. You are the proud driver. Shadow this. I am not lost.
I am not lost.
Now, the excuse. Say it smooth and confident, even though you are completely lying. Shadow this. I am just taking the scenic route.
Pause. I am just taking the scenic route.
Excellent. Eventually, though, pride must yield to reality. You have to actually navigate. You roll down the window and ask a stranger. The stranger gives you instructions based on landmarks. And a key landmark in city navigation, one of the most common words you'll hear, is the traffic light.
Or stoplight, right. Red, yellow, green. I hear both.
Both work. Traffic light is a more standard term. Stoplight is very common in the U.S. The instruction is usually about direction relative to that light. Listen to the preposition here.
Right.
Turn left at the traffic light. Not in the light, not on the light,
Yeah.
at the light.
Prepositions are the killers in English. Okay, at the light. Got it. It designates a specific point in space.
Precisely. Shadow this instruction. Turn left at the traffic light.
Pause. Turn left to the traffic light.
And sometimes the landmark is a building. You need to keep driving until you visually confirm it. Shadow this. Go straight until you see the bank.
Pause. Go straight until you see the bank.
Finally, in this section, the passenger has had enough of the paper map, or the lack of one. They want technology to solve the problem. They want a GPS.
Global positioning system, the little robot voice that tells you where to go and sometimes tries to drive you into a lake.
Hopefully not. In the source dialogue, the wife is annoyed they didn't get one with the rental car. She is expressing regret. Note the modal verb should. It implies a missed obligation, a past mistake. Shadow this. We should buy a GPS.
Pause. We should buy a GPS.
And when you have it, you have to trust it. You listen to it. Shadow this. The GPS says to turn right.
Pause. The GPS says to turn right.
Okay, let's pause the navigation for a second. We need to talk about the emotion in that car, because this dialogue wasn't just about maps. It was about a fight.
Oh yeah, it wasn't just turn left. There was real tension. They were bickering. It felt like a real relationship under stress.
Travel is a stress test for relationships. You're tired, you're hungry, you're lost. The tone you use changes everything. So we're going to look at part 3. Conflict in the car. This is advanced pragmatics, how to fight in English, or, how to diffuse a fight.
Oh boy. Domestic disputes on the deep dive. I didn't sign up for marriage counseling, but I guess language covers everything.
It does. In the source, the wife uses a very specific phrase to express her annoyance at her husband's repeated mistake of not asking for directions. She says, "This is so typical."
Typical, meaning normal or expected.
In a dictionary, yes.
Yeah.
But in the context of an argument, it is loaded with heavy sarcasm. It means you always do this. This is a bad habit of yours that I expect. I am not surprised, just deeply disappointed.
Wow, okay. It carries a whole history of annoyance.
It does. So if your friend forgets his wallet again when you go to lunch, you can sigh and say, "That is so typical."
It cuts deep. It attacks the character, not just the action. It says, this is who you are.
Exactly. Let's practice that sarcasm. Really feel the disappointment. Shadow this. This is so typical of you.
Pause. This is so typical of you.
Ouch. I felt that one. Now, the husband retaliates, and this is a warning for our listeners. He uses a phrase that is slang, and it is very, very rude. He tells her to be quiet, but he says, "Shut your trap."
Trap, as in slang for mouth, like an animal trap.
Yes. It dehumanizes the person. It implies their mouth is just a noisy mechanism that needs to be snapped shut. It is aggressive and incredibly dismissive.
So this is not something you say in polite company.
Absolutely not. We're going to practice it so you understand it if you hear it in a movie or, God forbid, a bar fight. But I want to be 100% clear. Do not say this to your boss. Do not say this to a police officer. Do not say this to your mother-in-law unless you want a divorce.
Got it. Labeled toxic for comprehension only.
Right. Let's shadow the rude version first, just to feel the anger in the vowels. Shadow this. Shut your trap. Pause.
Shut your trap.
It feels aggressive, doesn't it? It's all short, sharp sounds.
It does. It feels like I'm trying to start a physical fight. It feels kind of dirty to say, actually.
Now, let's cleanse the palate. Let's learn the polite alternative. You want silence, but you want to be civil. Maybe the kids are screaming in the back seat, or you just need a moment to concentrate on the road. Shadow this. Please, let's have some quiet time. Pause.
Please, let's have some quiet time.
Much better. You can say that to your kids, your partner, even a colleague, and you won't get slapped.
Good to know. Okay, we have driven around in circles. We have argued. We have almost divorced in the rental car. Let's get out of the car. Let's take the train.
Part 4. Taking the train. This comes from a specific dialogue about buying tickets. This is a transaction. In a busy station, efficiency is absolutely key. You need to be clear about what you want.
There are 2 main types of tickets, right? Going there and back.
Correct. A ticket for just going to a destination is a one-way ticket. A ticket for going and returning is a round-trip ticket.
Yeah, I always get confused, and I want to say return ticket. Is that wrong?
It's not wrong, but it is regional. Return ticket is standard British English. Round trip is standard North American English. Since our source material leans toward the American phrasing, we'll practice that. But if you're in London, by all means, ask for a return.
Got it. American round trip. Let's buy the one-way first. Shadow this request. I would like to purchase a one-way ticket. Pause. I would like to purchase a one-way ticket.
Now let's go for the round trip. You're going to Brussels, according to our notes. Shadow this. A round trip ticket to Brussels, please.
A round trip ticket to Brussels, please.
Cranes are famous for something that planes often are not: punctuality, especially in places like Europe and Japan. In the dialogue, the agent emphasizes the time. They say the train leaves on the dot.
On the dot, like right on the period at the end of the sentence.
It's a great visual. Visualize a clock face. The minute hand is exactly on the dot of the 12. It means 9:00. Not 9:01, not 9:02, exactly 9 o'clock. It implies absolute precision.
So if the train is at 9, it leaves at 9. It doesn't wait for me to finish my coffee.
Precisely. It leaves you behind. This is a great phrase for important appointments, too. Shadow this warning. The train leaves at 9 on the dot.
Pause. The train leaves at 9 on the dot.
And just to drive the point home, shadow this. Don't be late. Pause.
Don't be late.
Now, you have your ticket. You know the time. You need to know where to stand. In an airport, it's a gate. In a train station, it's a gate.
Platform. Like platform 9 and 34. That's the only reason I know that word.
Harry Potter has done wonders for English vocabulary acquisition.
Exactly. The platform is the raised area next to the tracks. In a big station like Grand Central or Gare du Nord, finding the right platform is half the battle. You need to ask, shadow this question. Which platform does the train leave from? Pause.
Which platform does the train leave from?
And the answer you might hear, shadow this. It leaves from platform 9. Pause.
It leaves from platform 9.
You're navigating the city like a pro now. But there's one thing that always causes stress in travel, no matter how fluent you are. Money. Oh, absolutely. The fear of getting ripped off, the shock of how expensive a bottle of water is in a tourist trap, the mental math of converting currency in your head while a line forms behind you, it haunts my dreams.
That leads us to part 5, money and costs. We have some really vivid idioms from the airport episode where the man was complaining about the baggage fees.
He was very unhappy. He felt completely exploited.
He used a classic English idiom to express this. He said it cost an arm and a leg.
I love this image. It's so violent. It's so expensive. I have to literally sell my limbs to pay for it.
It perfectly captures that feeling of pain when you pay. The origins are debated. Some say it's about portrait painters charging more for painting limbs. Others say it's about war pensions for amputees. But the current meaning is crystal clear. Exorbitant cost.
Okay.
So imagine you just bought a plane ticket that was way too expensive. You're complaining to your friend. Shadow this. That ticket cost an arm and a leg.
Pause. That ticket costs an arm and a leg?
Or a simple coffee in Venice or Times Square. Shadow this. I paid an arm and a leg for this coffee.
Pause. I paid an arm and a leg for this coffee.
On the flip side, sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes things are incredibly cheap. Maybe you're at a flea market or a bazaar.
I love those days. The thrill of the bargain. Finding a hidden gem.
The phrase used in the source is next to nothing. It means the price was so low, it was adjacent to zero.
Almost free.
Exactly. Or, more simply, it was on sale. Let's practice the bargain bragging. Shadow this. This souvenir cost next to nothing.
Pause. The souvenir cost next to nothing.
And the standard discount phrase. Shadow this. These shoes were on sale.
Pause. These shoes are on sale.
But we have to address the dark side, the feeling of being cheated. The ripoff.
A ripoff. That's when you get cheated, right? Or just when the value is terrible for the price.
Oath. It comes from the idea of something being torn away from you, specifically your money. If a taxi driver takes the long scenic route to charge you more, that is a ripoff. If a sandwich is $20 and is soggy and sad, that is a ripoff. The source material mentions a taxi ride specifically. Shadow this angry realization.
Oh.
That taxi ride was a total ripoff.
Pause. That taxi ride was a total ripoff.
Speaking of taxis, let's get into that cab. Part 6. Taxes and small talk. This is a very specific and sometimes awkward social environment.
This is always awkward for me. I get in and I never know if I should talk or just stare at my phone. Do I sit in the front seat or the back seat?
In the U.S., usually the back. But the interaction starts almost immediately with a question from the driver. It's usually very, very short. They don't say, "Where would you like to go today, sir?" They just say, "Where to?"
Where to? 2 words. Efficient. I like it.
Very. They're just asking for your destination. Let's practice the driver's voice first, just so you hear it coming. Shadow this. Where to, miss?
Where to, miss?
Now you, the passenger, need to give the destination. In the source, she was going to a hotel. You don't need a full sentence like, "I would like to go to." Just the destination's fine. Shadow this. To the Holiday Inn, please?
To the Holiday Inn, please.
Now, the small talk. In many cultures, especially in the U.S., as we heard in the source with the phrase, good old U.S. of A drivers can be very chatty. A common question for a traveler is asking about your origin.
So where are you from?
Or, even more specifically, for a traveler who just arrived at an airport, where are you flying in from?
So asking about the flight origin, not necessarily my nationality. That's more specific.
Exactly. They're making conversation about your immediate journey. Shadow this question. Where are you flying in from?
Pause. Where are you flying in from?
Now, in the source dialogue, the driver made an observation about the passenger's heritage. He realized it might be a bit sensitive or personal, so he used a softening phrase. This is a fantastic tool for social grace, he said, if you don't mind me saying so.
If you don't mind me saying so, it's like a little warning label. I'm about to say something personal. Please don't be mad.
Exactly. It shows respect, and it asks for permission to cross a potential social boundary. It's very polite. Let's practice that buffer phrase. Shadow this. If you don't mind me asking, are you American?
Ben. If you don't mind me asking, are you American?
Nice and polite. Finally, the ride is over. You need to pay. In the U.S. and many other places, tipping is expected.
The tipping culture. Always so confusing. Who do I tip? How much do I tip?
It is complicated and it's a whole other deep dive. But here is the easiest way to handle cash tips in a cab. If the fare is, say, $15, and you hand them a $20 bill and you want them to keep the $5 as a tip, there is a set phrase. You don't say, the rest is for you. You say, keep the change.
Keep the change. It's simple, it's clear, it's generous. It makes you sound like a movie character.
It does, a little bit. It implies you don't need the small money back. Shadow this. Here is the money. Keep the change. Pause.
Here is the money. Keep the change.
You are doing great, student. We have covered a lot of ground. But travel isn't always smooth. Sometimes things break. Sometimes you're late. This brings us to part 7, emergency and problem solving.
The stressful stuff. The stuff that makes you want to just go home and curl up in a ball.
The necessary stuff. In one of our sources, a character had car trouble. This is a brilliant catch-all phrase.
Yeah.
You don't need to know how to say carburetor or transmission or alternator in English. You just say car trouble.
That is a huge relief. I don't even know what a carburetor is in my own language. I just know the car stopped moving.
Exactly. It's vague enough to be accurate. It tells the listener you have a mechanical problem without needing any of the technical details. Also a very common car issue, running out of gas. The phrase is to fill up the tank.
Okay, let's practice the general problem first. Shadow this. I am having car trouble.
Oh. Well, I know the gas solution, or in this case, a question about it. Shadow this. Did you fill up the tank?
Does he fill up the tank?
Now, recall the situation from the library episode source. They were rushing, they were late, they needed speed. The driver was told to step on it.
Step on it, meaning step on the gas pedal, go faster.
Yes. It's common idiom for urgency. It's a little aggressive, but it's effective. It conveys that time is running out. Shadow this command. Please step on it, I'm late.
Pause. Please step on it, I'm late.
And a milder, more polite way to say you're rushing, perhaps to a colleague or someone you don't want to yell at. Shadow this. I am a bit of a hurry.
Pause. I am a bit of a hurry.
Finally, to save time, you might want to deviate from the main road. You want a shortcut.
A shorter way, a travel hack.
And the verb for taking a shortcut through a specific space, like a park or a parking lot, is to cut through.
Cut through. I like that. It sounds active, like you're slicing through the map.
It is. It implies crossing a boundary to save distance. Let's ask for that magic route. Shadow this. Do you know a shortcut?
Pause.
Do you know a shortcut?
And now the specific plan. Shadow this. Let's cut through the park. Pause.
Let's cut through the park. We made it. We got through the airport check-in, the overhead bin struggle, the lost in the car argument, the train station platform, the awkward taxi small talk, and the emergency rush to the airport. That was a lot.
We did. It's a linguistic marathon. How does it feel, student?
Honestly, I feel more confident. I really do.
Yeah.
When you break it down into these little blocks and you actually say them out loud, it's not so scary. I feel like I could actually stand at a counter and say 3 pieces of luggage without sweating.
That is the power of shadowing. It builds muscle memory. You aren't just thinking the words. Your mouth, your jaw, your tongue, they remember how the words feel. The neural pathways are stronger now.
And repeating it in the silence, it forces you to take ownership of the language. You can't just passively nod along and think you've learned it.
Exactly. Passive listening is for entertainment. Active speaking is for learning. Don't just listen, speak. That is the golden rule of this whole exercise.
Okay, teacher. Is class dismissed? Can I go to the duty-free shop now?
Not quite. I have a final exam.
Oh, no. I thought I graduated. I was ready for my diploma.
Don't worry. It's a final challenge. I want you to shadow one complex sentence. We are going to combine the urgency, the car vocabulary, and the request for speed into one natural flowing sentence. This is a level-up moment.
Okay, I'm ready. Bring it on.
Imagine you are late for your flight. You're in a taxi. You need to give clear, urgent instructions. Listen carefully to the rhythm and the pauses. I'm in a hurry to get to the airport, so please take a shortcut and step on it. Pause.
I'm in a hurry to get to the airport, so please take a shortcut and step on it.
Outstanding. If you can say that with conviction, you are ready for the world.
I feel ready. A little bit, anyway.
And remember, to our listener, be the learner.
Mm-hmm.
Travel is messy. You will get lost. You will say the wrong word. You might even accidentally be rude when you meant to be polite.
But that's part of the fun, right? I mean, that's how you get the good stories later.
Precisely. The goal isn't perfection, it's connection. Keep practicing, keep shadowing, and enjoy the journey.
Thanks for diving in with us. We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.